Yesterday we talked about which relationships were congruent and which ones were supplementary. So we're on page 2 of the quiz review. Which types of angles are supplementary? Consecutive interior and a linear pair. And then that means the rest of them are congruent. Okay, so we're on 11. It's hard to see because it's so small. But 2x plus 20 is in this angle. And 3x is in this angle. Do they have a relationship together? They don't. But I do know that 3x and this angle, what relationship do they have? They're vertical, which means that they are congruent. And why that's important, I wrote it really, really small. It's a 3x. That's important because what relationship do these two angles have? That is the measurement, yes. What relationship do they have? They're consecutive interior, which is going to make them supplementary. So will I set them equal? No, I'm going to add them. So 2x plus 20. 2x plus 20 plus 3x. And they will equal 180. Combine like terms. 2x and 3x make 5x. And drop down the 20. And they equal 180. Subtract 20. 5x equals 160. Divide. And x equals 32. That is a bummer. Number 12, what relationship do these two angles have? They are corresponding, which means that they are congruent. So I will not add them. I will set them equal. So 7x minus 11 equals 4x plus 58. Move the smaller x, which here would be 4x. Go ahead and subtract it. So then we'll have 3x minus 11 equals 58. Add 11. 3x equals 69. Divide by 3, and x is 23. That's it. All right, in the bottom section it says write an equation of the line passing through the point that is parallel to the given line. What do we know about parallel slopes? They're the same slope. So what does the original line need to look like to figure out what the slope is? It needs to look like y equals mx plus b. Because which of these will represent the slope? M will represent this slope. All right, so what is the slope of the first question? -1. It's never going to be x. It's going to be the number in front of x. We got -1 as a slope. Parallel to -1 is -1. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is called point slope formula because we're going to plug in a point. We'll plug in the slope. What is my y coordinate? -4. Plug in a negative. There's already a negative. I'll make a positive. And then my slope, which is -1, and then my x coordinate is 3. Distribute. We got y plus 4 equals negative. I'm going to put negative x because -1x looks childish. I don't know. And then -1 times -3 is positive 3. Last step. Subtract 4. Y equals -x minus 1. What is the slope of the next question? 1/2. All right, so we do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Our y coordinate, 5. And then our slope, 1/2. It's going to be parallel to the old slope. therefore the same. And then my x-coordinate is -6. Plug it in, there's already a negative, so that does make a positive. Distribute. We get 1/2 x. What's 1/2 of 6? 3. Add 5 to both sides. Y equals 1/2 x plus 8. Beautiful. Are you ready? You can turn the page. We're going to skip these two for now because it's pretty redundant at this point. Because they are asking for parallel lines. What's the slope of number 19? 3, and parallel to that would be 3. And then the slope of 20 is 1/3, and parallel to that is 1/3. Okay, but we're going to go to the next ones, which is asking, write an equation of the line that is perpendicular. So we're on this one. We're at perpendicular to the given line. So perpendicular, they're not the same slope. What do they have?
Opposite signs and
Perfect. Opposite sign, and you flip it. And you flip it. All right, so what is the slope of number 21? Well, the original slope, the given slope is -2, but perpendicular to that will be the opposite sign and the flip. So we will use 1/2. So you were all correct in your own way. So we're going to use 1/2, okay, because it's opposite sign and flipped. So then y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My y-coordinate, -1, which will make a plus. My slope, 1/2. And then my x is 6. Alright, so we got y plus 1 equals 1/2 x. And half of -6 is -3. Minus 1. Final answer, y equals 1/2 x minus 4. Good. 22, what's the old slope, the given slope? -1/2, so then perpendicular to that will be 2. So we're going to use +2 as our slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So my y-coordinate is 3. And then my slope is 2. And then my x-coordinate is 0. Distribute 2 times x. And then 2 times 0 is just 0. You don't need to put anything there, but if you like a placeholder, you can put that. But I personally am not going to. Y equals 2x plus 3. Good. Good. This next one, what is the given slope? 1/4. So remember, we're still doing perpendicular as the directions say. So perpendicular to 1/4 will be? Did I say it out loud already? Kind of. Sorry. Perpendicular to 4 is -1/4. Sorry, it's been a very long week. So we're going to use that slope and our point in point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My y-coordinate, 2. Then we said our perpendicular slope is -1/4. And then my x-coordinate is 8. So we are going to distribute. We got -1/4 x. If you don't know -1/4 times -8, you can write it off to the side. Put 8 over 1. What's 1 times 8? 8. 4 times 1. This reduces to 2. You just want to be very sure that you get your sign correct. It is a negative times a negative, which makes a positive. So keep that in mind. Add 2. Y is -1/4 x plus 4. And last, what is my perpendicular slope going to be? -7. It's going to be the opposite sign, so opposite positive negative, and then flip it. So we're going to use -7. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My y coordinate, 5. Then we said slope, -7. And then my x coordinate, -1. So when I plug that in, it will become a +1. Y minus 5 equals -7x minus 7. Add 5, -7x minus 2. Good. There's only 2 more on your page, but we are going to do some things with the slope formula here in a minute. But we'll go through this first. We're going to name the angle relationships. So starting with 2 and 8, they are vertical. They are located across from each other. Those are vertical. 9 and 5, they are alternate exterior. They're outside of these double lines, and they're on the opposite sides of their transversal. So alternate exterior. 10 and 11, linear pair. 3 and 4, consecutive interior. They're inside the double lines, but they're on the same side of their transversal. Consecutive interior. 5 and 1, alternate interior. They're on the inside of their double lines, but on opposite sides of their transversal. Good eye. You could go to next page. It's a different picture, but the same idea. Identifying these angle relationships. So we got 1 and 9 corresponding. They're in the same spot at their intersections, both in the top left. We got 13 and 12. Consecutive interior. Inside of N and M, and on the same side of their transversal. 15 and 5. They're alternate exterior. Outside the double lines, on opposite sides of the transversal. And then last is 15 and 13. They are vertical. So don't turn the page, you're just going to write at the bottom. We're going to do 2 more problems. One is because we need to practice fractions, and then the other one is just to remind ourselves how to do slope. So I would write down our point and our slope for the first one. We're going to write an equation of a line, which you'll see. So I'd write down the point and the slope. And then we're going to find the slope between these 2 points. 2 things we are doing. 2 separate problems. Here we go. So this first one, the main purpose I picked this is so that we could deal with a fraction and remind ourselves how to multiply the fraction. So we still are going to use y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Because we have a slope and a point, we're going to use point-slope formula. All right, what's the y-coordinate I'm going to plug in? -6, which when I plug it in will be a positive. And then my slope, -2/3. And then my x-coordinate is 9. We're going to distribute. We got y plus 6 equals -2/3 x. You can always go off to the side. -2/3 times -9. If you know how to cross cancel, you can do that. If you do not, I am recording, so some people don't know how to do that. 2 times 9 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3. This reduces to 6. Will it be a positive or a negative? Positive, because it's a negative times a negative, which will make a positive. Last thing we do, Subtract that 6 on the left side. So they actually cancel out on both sides. You do not need to write the number 0, because that looks silly. So y equals negative 2 over 3x. Yes, sir.
Can you solve like a perpendicular bisector?
I will not have time to. We just have to start our quiz. We can refresh on how to do it, but I don't have a problem for it. The second is find the slope through the points. So y, our slope formula, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. My first y, depends on which one you want to do. 3 is fine. And then my second y, negative 5, which would make a plus, because there's already negative in the formula. First x, negative 2, and then my second x is 4. So you should be able to look up and see a coordinate. Negative 2, 3 was a coordinate, right? So you want to make sure that the same coordinate, the y and the x, line up. All right, we are going to math. 3 plus 5 is 8. Minus 2 minus 4 is negative 6. And then this reduces to, negative 4/3. So what would parallel to negative 4/3 be? Negative 4/3. What is parallel? Sorry, we just said that. What is perpendicular to negative 4/3? 3/4.